Hello guys, welcome back to Defying Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 336 based on novel. So let's start. Purple Moon Holy Land. Go and check whether Luofeng is alive or not. Purple Moon Ancestor looked down and yelled. Ancestor, said a white-caped Universe Master, groveling. No soldiers from Purple Moon Holy Land are in Python River Army. Other soldiers aren't allowed to be in Python River Army camp. Although we're friends with 2 soldiers from Python River Army, we can't just ask them to go to Luofeng's place. Ancestor, Cheng Mu self-destructed, so there are no soldiers in Swan Queen Army anymore. Nobody can check whether Swan Queen is back or not. Ancestor. The Universe Masters were all telling the Ancestor how difficult it would be to find out the answer to his inquiry. After all, it was the world of Jin. Even though there were almost 100 Universe Masters in the army, they were like drops of water in the ocean. It was impossible to find out anything. Humph. Purple Moon Ancestor snorted. Suddenly, a female with 3 eyes and 8 arms opened her eyes and said, Ancestor, a piece of news just came from the original universe. Tell me. Purple Moon Ancestor yelled. The female answered respectfully. It's confirmed that the endless remote ocean is still lively. Apparently, that Luofeng is still alive. Still alive. Purple Moon Ancestor looked irritated. In his opinion, it should have been easy to kill a Universe Master. He hadn't expected any failures. He turned to look at Cheng Mu Master nearby. How? Cheng Mu Master replied, Ancestor, we don't have a solid foundation in the world of Jin. Besides, all of us are law masters, so we have a low status. It's difficult for us to check news or set someone up. We can't find out why Luofeng is still alive. After all, none of us are qualified to talk to Swan Queen. Purple Moon Ancestor nodded. He understood that although Purple Moon Holy Land was a holy land, the number of Universe Masters sent to the world of Jin was smaller than that in a tribe in the world of Jin. How can we kill him? Purple Moon Ancestor considered. Luofeng entered from the outside. How did he earn the trust of the locals? Purple Moon Ancestor was perplexed. There must be a reason behind this. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Time flew by. Luofeng had originally thought that Purple Moon Holy Land would strike again, yet they didn't do anything. Eventually, the third era arrived. Finally, said Luofeng, standing atop endless remote ocean. The third era has come, said Primal Chaos City leader in a low voice, but his voice was trembling. Luofeng, can you really kill that many Universe Masters in the world of Jin in only one shot? Those Universe Masters might be in different places, and if some of them die, other Universe Masters might panic, which means they'll try to get away, or even self-destruct. Self-destruction was a method for Universe Masters who had multiple bodies to escape. Primal Chaos City leader rarely questioned Luofeng, but it was indeed a big deal this time. Have faith in me, teacher, said Luofeng. Okay. Primal Chaos City leader felt relieved. Other than the humans, many other races have also joined the Hong Alliance. Some of them joined voluntarily, but others were forced by us. Besides, the inheritance from the ancient civilization we offer is nothing compared to what is offered in the world of Jin. 36 Universe Masters from the Hong Alliance went in last time, and after those Universe Masters bring back news from the world of Jin, many more want to go, and there's no way we can stop them. Perhaps over 100 Universe Masters will go in this time. Luofeng nodded. Subsidiary races were after all other races. Although they followed the humans, they would also seize any chance to improve themselves. The world of Jin was a great opportunity. The United Forces Alliance, Primal Chaos City leader smiled. Many from the United Forces Alliance have entered the world of Jin. And many more will go in this time. I understand, teacher. Luofeng nodded, and his eyes glinted wildly. This issue determined race territories. He couldn't be soft. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The bug race territory. Empress. Empress. 20 beings were standing in the palace, while the noble Empress was seated. Even the humans can't control the races under them. Bug Empress looked down and smiled. The great beings from other races in the Hong Alliance also long for this, so many of them will enter the world of Jinn. We of the United Forces Alliance can also get in without any trouble. Then she added slowly, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. There are many supreme true treasures in the world of Jinn, and there are also wonderful machine-type valuables. Once we have those, we'll be much stronger. The competition in the world of Jinn will determine which team in the original universe wins. Which means you must get as many inheritances and valuables as possible in the world of Jinn. Yes. 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 All the 20 universe masters of Bug Race were enthusiastic. It was a tempting realm, this world of Jinn, a world that belonged to them. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Demon race territory. Shock Demon Ancestor's voice rumbled and echoed in the space. Our United Forces Alliance is always being one-upped by the human team. We will eventually fail if nothing changes. The world of Jinn is our only chance to turn things around. Compared to the world of Jinn, the valuables we have now are a joke. In the world of Jinn, there exist valuables thousands of times more precious. There were towering beings in the surrounding area. Some were from the demon race, and some belonged to other races in the Demon Race Alliance. Howl. World of Jinn, machine-type true treasures. Everyone was howling. Go, said Shock Demon Ancestor. Go get those valuables and inheritances. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The entire United Forces Alliance had reached a consensus that the world of Jinn was their only chance to turn things around. And besides that, the world of Jinn was tempting to begin with. All the powers in the United Forces Alliance, the Bug Race, the Demon Race, the Automaton Race, the Prison Race, the Crystal Race, the Northern Territory Alliance, and the remaining members of the Freedom Alliance all entered Universe Ocean, marching toward the world of Jinn. This is our chance. The world of Jinn is the chance for Space Beast Alliance to have more Universe Supreme Masters. The old beast god looked down. No matter how the United Forces Alliance fights the humans, we shall help neither. All we need to do is utilize the world of Jinn to make us stronger. Ooh. Ah. Stronger. All the space beasts were filled with expectation. Although they had chosen to stand with the United Forces Alliance when the human race was fighting them, they didn't have any territorial conflicts against the humans. The old beast god had negotiated with the humans several times, and he had even leveraged his past relationship with Luofeng, hoping to gain forgiveness. The Space Beast Alliance had compensated the human race. Luofeng had thought back to his past relationship and considered the fact that he had a golden horned beast body. The humans and the Space Beast Alliance were at peace now. The Space Beast Alliance decided not to interfere anymore, opting to compensate humans. To the humans, they had fought alongside the United Forces Alliance mainly for territories. After all, the human race had long been at an advantage, so their opposition had no chance to occupy their territory. They were fighting because they wanted more territories, particularly some core territories. The Space Beast Alliance, however, didn't need territories at all. There was no reason to keep up the fight. As for the Demon Race and the Automaton Race, the only means of negotiation were for the Demon Race and the Automaton Race to give up all their territories and be left with only a small area in the remote region of the original universe. After all, the Demon Race, the Automaton Race, the Bug Race, and the humans occupied the best territories in the original universe. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Just as the great beings in the original universe were all rushing toward Universe Ocean, 3 ancestral gods sat on thrones in Ancestral God Palace in the Ancestral God Secret Region. 1. A dim light-filled Ancestral God Palace, and a giant whirlpool rotated above it. 3 light pillars enveloped the 3 ancestral gods. All the guards outside kneeled down as they realized that it was the great original mind sharing a piece of information. This is the time. Go. Live or die. Only war. Destined. Incarnation. Messages kept being sent to the 3 ancestral gods beneath the whirlpool. Eventually, everything faded away. The 3 ancestral gods, who had their eyes closed, gradually opened their eyes. They looked at each other, terrified. So this is what's going to happen, the youngest ancestral god said, shaking. Last time, I was confused as to why the great original mind had allowed that giant object to show up and why it guided them. Without the great original mind, countless great beings will die before they even find a way to enter the world of Jinn. This is the reason behind all these. It shows up in our incarnation era. The double-faced ancestral god was also shaking. This is a disaster. I've known for a long time that universe ocean was mysterious, and it's difficult to inspect it. There's too much we don't know. I can't believe it's this catastrophic. Even Huge Axe founder was killed instantly. Let's hope they got much stronger in the world of Jinn and got more valuables to face this apocalypse. Let's go. Let's go tell all the powers in Universe Ocean. In the vast Universe Ocean, where the chaotic airflow was incredibly thick and dense, a 9-story tower suddenly appeared amidst the chaotic airflow. Within the tower, the 100 Universe Masters from the Hong Alliance had gathered. Regardless of whether they were plant lifeforms with countless lush branches and leaves or rock lifeforms surrounded by flames all over, these Universe Masters from the various powerful races were all part of the Hong Alliance. At the moment, they were engaged in conversation with one another. Ahead is where that humanoid massive life form is. We will be there very soon. In the frontmost area of the tower, Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader were standing side by side. The other Universe Masters from the Hong Alliance did not dare disturb. The world of Jinn will be the greatest opportunity for the rise of the human race. Primal Chaos City Leader looked far out into the outside world, beyond Universe Ocean, and let out a sigh. He said, "Previously, when Huge Axe was annihilated, I thought my fellow humans would face a daunting future. Who would have thought to see a silver lining among the clouds? After we achieve this feat, our humans will well be on the rise, and there will no longer be anyone to stop us." Luo Feng nodded. Hua. Star Tower quickly flew right through the middle of the lips of that massive creature. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Outside the miniature universe of the world of Jinn, numerous palace-type true treasures were suspended, all of which were troops of various groups of top powers within the Universe Ocean. A 9-story tower also made its way over. It's Star Tower. Milky Way Horde Leader's Star Tower. The humans are here, too. Milky Way Horde Leader. Various powerful groups suddenly redirected their attention. Luo Feng stood within the tower as his gaze swept over the crowd outside. He whispered, "This is a little more than the previous time. With the third era, the number of Universe Masters seeking to enter the world of Jinn is far more, I guess." Luo Feng was surprised as he looked into the distance. "That is," Primal Chaos City Leader said, also looking over. "The Ancestral God School?" Luo Feng was shocked to see that, amidst the void space in the outside world, where it was relatively nearer to the miniature universe of the world of Jinn, there were 3 figures. These 3 were none other than the 3 ancestral gods from the Ancestral God School, and all 3 of them each exuded endlessly oppressive power that was strong enough to overpower any true god. "Why are the 3 ancestral gods here?" Luo Feng asked with a frown. Beside him, even Primal Chaos City Leader was solemn as he replied, "Previously, during the initial entry into the world of Jinn, these 3 ancestral gods appeared to advise the various groups of powers on how to enter the world of Jinn. Now, all 3 are here again, and judging by the oppressive force they are exuding, apparently, they are still in the favor of the willpower of the primal universe origin. They must be here under the orders of the willpower of the origin." Luo Feng nodded slowly as he stared at the 3 ancestral gods in the distance. Asterisk 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 asterisk. After that, numerous troops arrived to realize that the 3 ancestral gods from Ancestral God School had appeared. The 3 ancestral gods. Why are they here? Judging by the oppressive force they are exuding, they must be representing the willpower of the primal universe origin. The only thing we are unsure of is what they intend to do. The various powerful groups were filled with doubts. No one was afraid of the willpower of the origin, but neither did anyone initiate any provocation. After all, they had never heard of the willpower of the origin killing anyone independently, as long as they avoided provoking it. However, none of them dared to take this situation lightly nor any piece of information about the willpower of origin. After all, Even the most senior of Universe Supreme Masters found the universe ocean mysterious and unfathomable. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Time passed, and during this third era, various groups of top powers naturally made their way over as soon as they could. As if of one mind, everyone had made it a point to arrive slightly early. Because the period of time when the membrane walls of the miniature universe of World of Jinn remained white was not long, it was necessary for them to arrive as early as possible. Attention, all. The three ancestral gods stood amidst the void space. The aged ancestral god slowly spoke, and his voice resonated in every corner of the void space. At this moment, almost all the representatives of the three reincarnation eras and two holy lands from the universe ocean have made it here. Suddenly, from within the numerous palace true treasures far away, many figures flew out. They were all great beings varying in appearance and form. There were thousands of universe masters, and a portion of them were universe supreme masters. All of them were gathering into scattered groups, looking at the three ancestral gods from afar. What do the three ancestral gods want? Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader stood beside one another, and behind them. There were over 100 universe masters from the Hong Alliance. The various powerful groups were filled with doubts. The three ancestral gods' gazes swept through the surroundings as the aged ancestral god continued. We are here on the orders of the willpower of the origin, and we have something very important to inform you all. Do you know why this miniature universe, the world of Jinn, which lies within the body of this massive creature, suddenly appeared in universe ocean? Silence. Everyone was listening intently. This, said the aged ancestral god. This was orchestrated personally by the willpower of the primal universe origin. It led this massive creature here. All the way from deep within universe ocean, it was led here by the willpower of the primal universe origin. Suddenly, there was an uproar. What? Led all the way here? Even Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader wore shocked expressions. This massive creature had flown all the way here from deep within universe ocean, and it had, in fact, been led all the way here by the willpower of the primal universe origin. Was this for real? Or was it just a ploy? A deception? Those who were present were all top-notch existences from universe ocean. They would never trust such words so easily. Previously, while you all may have discovered this massive creature, you were all clueless about how you could enter, said the aged ancestral god. If the willpower of the primal universe origin had not led the way, who knows how much time would have been spent? Who knows how many great beings would have to be sacrificed in the body of this massive creature before the final destination could be found? Everyone nodded. Luo Feng was also in agreement. After all, it was indeed a very vast area in the body of that massive creature. Without guidance, there would surely be a great deal of places they needed to explore. Even if they did discover the world of Jinn, after hundreds and thousands of attempts, always resulting in failure and annihilation, there would come a time when they would have to stop trying, albeit temporarily. No one would have known that entry was only possible when the membrane of that miniature universe was white. If there was no guidance, the powerful groups would certainly suffer some degree of loss, and the time required would be much longer. The willpower of the origin followed the universe law, said the aged ancestral god. When a catastrophe occurs, it will take it upon itself to beseech any glimmer of hope of survival for all life forms. This world of Jinn is the place where the vitality of every living soul of the various groups of top powers from universe ocean can be found. Catastrophe occurs. What catastrophe? Catastrophe? That word alone was enough to rouse the attention of the various groups of powers. The first and second reincarnation eras and all the great beings from the primal universe era were looking intently at the three ancestral gods. The youngest of the three ancestral gods added in a loud and clear voice, "The primal universe breeds all life forms and all living souls. In this vast world, there are two sides to everything. If there is a primal universe that breeds all life forms, then, on the contrary, there will also be an existence that destroys all life forms." The young ancestral god's gaze swept across the surroundings. This existence is called Sector Beast. All the great beings fell silent. Gradually, they began muttering to themselves as doubts ran through their minds. Sector Beast. The primal universe breeds all life forms and living souls. And the sector beast destroys everything? Even Luo Feng was filled with doubts. Sector beast? Seriously? Why have I never heard of its existence before? The three ancestral gods seemed to know that the various great beings were stumped by this piece of news. They paused for a moment to allow the numerous great beings some time to process this information. Asterisk 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 asterisk. In one quiet corner, among the great beings from the various groups of top powers from the universe ocean, a lone figure appeared. This lofty elder was seated atop a cyan-colored mountain peak. He was none other than Sitting Mountain Guest. Sitting Mountain Guest had never entered the world of Jinn. Neither was he the least bit concerned. However, the three ancestral gods had come forth, so here he was, too. Sector beast. Sitting Mountain Guest flashed a strange expression as he vaguely recalled. Sector beast. Could it have been born soon? If it was born, then, indeed, this is a major catastrophe in the making. Come to think of it, Sitting Mountain Guest whispered softly, this is quite ridiculous. Sector beast. What a pity. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The three ancestral gods' gazes swept across the surroundings, and double-faced ancestral god spoke up. Sector beast is known to be the most terrifying life form that could be bred by universe ocean, unquestionably, the most terrifying life form. It was an existence that contradicted the presence of the primal universe. After an immeasurably long period of time, a single sector beast would emerge, and when this happened, there would be a great catastrophe. For countless eras, within the entire universe ocean, why were there only two Holy Land universes? Double-faced ancestral god looked toward the various powerful groups. Suddenly, every great being present started speculating about why this was. Luo Feng's heart stirred. How true. Over the course of countless eras, there should have been births of extraordinary talents. Two Holy Land universes were simply too few to start with. Could it be? All of you are right, double-faced ancestral god said, nodding solemnly. All the earlier Holy Land universes were destroyed by sector beasts. When a sector beast completely emerges, it will destroy all the universes it comes across, regardless of whether it is a Holy Land universe, a miniature universe, or even the primal universe. Ah. What? All the miniature universes? Even the primal universe, too? Everyone was shocked. The universe itself is not resilient and can only withstand attacks passively, double-faced ancestral god continued. Every living soul will undergo extermination, so naturally, everything within the universe will eventually be exterminated. However, the extermination of the primal universe is only temporary. It will be transformed back to its origin. Then, in the future, everything will again undergo evolution to become the primal universe again. Asterisk 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 asterisk. In the Purple Moon Holy Land universe, as the three ancestral gods were talking to the various powerful groups, Purple Moon Ancestor immediately jumped out of his throne upon hearing the news. Sector beast, he said. The three ancestral gods mentioned that a sector beast is about to be born. How could it? How could it turn out like this? Ancestor. The dozen universe masters kneeling beneath Purple Moon Ancestor were all perturbed with trepidation. Get out, all of you. Purple Moon Ancestor shouted. Fearfully, everyone departed. Purple Moon Ancestor could hardly hide his anxiety as he said, how could it be? It should be tens of thousands of reincarnation eras, or even more, before a sector beast is bred. I just became a true god of void space not too long ago. How could I be so unlucky? What a timely coincidence to meet with the birth of a sector beast. I must make good use of time and quickly cultivate to become an eternal true god. Once I become an eternal true god, I will be able to fight against the sector beast, so at least my miniature universe will not be destroyed. Purple Moon Ancestor and East Emperor Ancestor were both very flustered. Asterisk 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 asterisk. In the void space outside world of Jinn, the three ancestral gods were still speaking. The sector beast is still very small and weak now. While it is still small and weak, we should strike and kill it. This is the best opportunity for us, Once it grows up, all life during the period when it reaches maturity will be exterminated. Not a single survivor will be left. Even the primal universe will be temporarily destroyed and transformed back into its origin. The world of Jinn will help you increase your powers and collect more powerful treasures. Then you can use these to exterminate the sector beast. It must be within this reincarnation era. No delay can be allowed. You all see that universe boat. Why was it created? It was for the purpose of dealing with that sector beast. The ancestral gods' voices resonated within the minds of thousands of great beings from the various top groups. Like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.